Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Consciously Thriving podcast.
Hello, welcome.
We are back after a week of missing another episode.
Yep.
Yeah, we decided that we needed to spend last week. So sorry guys, we know we didn't get an episode out. We actually forgot to tell our audience as well.
We did.
But we needed to plan. We needed to get let's be super clear here. Speak.
No, you're right. No, honestly, it was just one of those situations where you guys, I'm sure you're all going through it. You're in the spiritual community, and if you're into astrology, then you would know that today or for the last couple of weeks, not for the past couple of weeks, last week and then this coming week and then the following week, we're basically in eclipse season. So eclipse season is fun because it's like an up-leveling experience. You are just thrown all of the things your way and you get to decide, are you going to choose this new way of being, the thing that you've been calling in? Are you going to learn the lessons? Are you going to step out of your comfort zone? Are you going to do the things basically, or are you just going to continue talking about it, right? I just feel like that's like the energy behind an eclipse season.
Absolutely. And it's like really subtle, like you told me. I've been watching a lot of videos on this, but it's like really subtle in the way like the universe will present it to you. And you know, it's your duty to be self-aware with what's coming up, so that it's like when lunar eclipse hits, if you don't learn the lesson, the universe just takes it into its own hands. And then the lesson becomes like, you have no choice to surrender to what's happening in it.
You don't want the lunar eclipse to take it into its own hands.
You know, like this is like examples of people that like aren't happy in their jobs and the universe is pushing them to leave and they don't.
Then they get fired.
Yeah, then they get fired. Like that's just an example of like how intense the lunar eclipse can get. So we've just been really like focused on setting our intentions, getting real with ourselves, and something we realized is we were making this bigger than it needed to be. We were going so much into the planning phase and the structure phase, and we said from the very start that we want to be authentic, and we just want this podcast to really be two girls having conversations, just literally flowing. Like we have an idea of what we want to talk about today, but we're just going to let the wind take us.
Let the wind take us. Let whatever needs to flow come out. And, you know, this is really important to Nadia and I because we are moving away from traditional, like, patriarchal structures where everything needs to be so, like, automated and planned. And I'm like, fuck that energy. Like, I can't do that. And, again, of course, the eclipse season has come and we got taught that lesson again, and we were just like, you know what, we get it, universe. We're not going to do this again, you know. So and like honestly, so much of ourselves have come online. Like we've just learned so much of ourselves this past week that we had to like integrate that time so that we could step into this next version and like show up in the way that we want to show up.
And like we were like trying to hustle and do 2 episodes a week, and just like we just had this feeling like it wasn't becoming enjoyable. And we had such a beautiful morning as well we just didn't talk about the podcast. We just literally set it up now. We did some mantras, just letting it go.
Just letting ourselves like flow and be spiritual with it, like just being ourselves, like the way that we want things to actually run. And it just feels so much more liberating, so much more free. So we just thought, you know, we're just going to talk to you on our experience.
Let's talk about our experience with the lunar eclipse. Like, what are the lessons?
Well, solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. So the solar eclipse, now, like, look back at, if you're not too familiar with astrological transits, but look back to when the solar eclipse did hit and see what's changed since then. Or maybe you're in this point in your life, or, you know, you're going through this week and you're just like, fuck, like, just trigger after trigger is coming up and people are so, like, their emotions are heightened, and you know, it takes a lot of self-awareness. This is why I love this work and being aware of what's happening like in the skies, and being aware of what's happening within yourself and within the universe around you, so you can respond from a conscious place. It's no longer like just the world is happening and things are blowing up. It's like, oh my God, wait, no, this is an opportunity. I've been asking for this growth. I've been asking for this up level. Let me go out and get it.
Yeah, like honestly, this time is just the universe. Like you know, what you're calling in the universe is just preparing you for your manifestations. It's preparing you for the next layer. So yeah, I just feel, although it can feel super painful, like, I don't know about you, but ever since starting the spiritual journey, obviously since starting the spiritual journey, the lessons become harder to resist. It's almost like they're just like pushing me to be like, even if that that's going to be sad or that's going to be painful, just make that decision.
You have to do it.
You have to do it. And why don't we actually talk about our experiences? So
yeah, no, we will.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's
exactly what we're doing.
But that's the overall theme of what we're going for. And I just feel like we're just such different people already.
Honestly, we were just saying that this morning. We're like, I feel like a new version of myself has been birthed through. For me, like this is my experience with the solar eclipse. I ended up getting this download as to where I'm meant to be heading next. Now, I've been waiting for this next step. Honestly, I've been waiting. It's a complete redirection, guys. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? I have to do what? And it was so beautiful to get that piece of information. And you know what's so funny? Because I've received that piece of information and I don't want to say it yet because I want to I want it to be my little baby first and I want to nurture it. It's my next project. And it feels so aligned. I mean, like so many of you have reached out to me saying, how can I work with you? How can I do this? Like so many people have been asking like, what do you do? What are you doing? What are you offering now that you're not doing the readings? But I've really held off on creating something because I wanted it to come from my heart. I wanted it to be an expression of me and I wanted to fully back myself. I didn't want to just create to create, So I sat with myself and I just keep listening to my higher self. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go step by step. It's an illusion to think that we have it all figured out from the get-go because I have absolutely no idea what's to come next. And I had no idea that this was even a option for me. I actually thought that it wasn't. I thought that something like this wouldn't be in alignment with me. And now I'm like, wait, hold the fuck on. Everything up until this point has prepped me to step into this role, to do this thing. They've literally put me in situations where I've had to gain the skills in order to do the thing that now I'm going to create. And I'm just like, how did I not put two and two together?
I know. And for so long, obviously we're so close and I could see it. You just felt a bit lost. What am I doing? You started the YouTube, and then you were putting so much pressure on the YouTube side of things and what that looks like. And it's just it's taken the universe to present all these different things to be hey, this is what you're actually, not even your sole purpose because it's forever changing, but this is actually the project we want you to focus on right now. But they had to get you to this place where you got up the courage to do YouTube. It's all in divine timing. It all makes sense now. You've done the podcast for the last year and a bit. You've revamped that by doing that with me. You started the YouTube, you stopped the readings, and now you're going to birth a new project, right?
Honestly, and hearing you speak and just reflect that has also reminded me of something I wanted to share in regards to this lesson. And I want this to be a message to anyone listening. Sometimes you don't know what the hell is on the other side, but your higher self does. And all you have to do is just continue to trust that voice. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. Trust me, guys, it does not make sense. And it's uncomfortable and it takes the ultimate act of surrender with the universe. But now I see it. I'm like, oh my God, of course. That's why you wanted me to do this. That's why you want me to create the vlogs like this on YouTube. That's why you want me to now, I see how it's all going to complement each other. That's why I was meant to go into the podcast with you. It's just so exciting, when you've been surrendering and trusting for so long, and it's just what the fuck am I doing?
Is this legit?
Am I making this shit up?
Yeah, I put up an Instagram reel the other day, and what did it say? It was I don't have my phone with me, but it was what did it say? It was a funny, do you know which one it was? It's I have no idea what I'm doing, but I just know you're not doing it feels worse.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that. It's you don't know what you're doing, but not doing it's going to make you feel worse. Stepping out of your comfort zone, when you've become self-aware, it's almost so unbearable to, if you're making this decision from fear, it's going to become harder not to do that. So even I think you've just spent so much time learning the practice of trusting your intuition, and the universe has shown you, obviously you've learned through things that trusting your intuition does lead you to be the happiest. Everything you've manifested is what you wanted. So there's obviously been a bit of that because some people go, well, how do I just surrender? And it's building your relationship with the universe. You start by asking for a sign when you want one. It starts by actively listening to that voice, not listening to fear.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll just see over time, like, holy shit, my life is dramatically improving.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, think about where we were just last year. Completely different versions of it. Even just the start of the year.
Man.
Completely different.
Completely fucking different. Like,
It's
I was
scary.
not, like, even at the start of the year, and we're ever going to grow. Like, we're
Honestly.
always going to grow. But, like, it's just been...
I heard this quote and it's just like reminding me, and I just feel like it's just like spoke to my soul. I said it today, I don't know if you realize, but when you're not growing, you're dying.
Did you say that?
I did. And you completely skimmed over it, and I was like, babe, that's a fucking
It's like, you stupid
I was
bitch.
like, babe, like, seriously.
She
So I'm
said
going to
that.
take my moment on the podcast and just let that sit with everyone. When you're not growing, you're dying. Think about it, your cells. If they're not growing, if you are not aging, you are dying.
Oh my god, I just literally said, you stupid bitch. Like, as in, like, you.
Oh, you stupid bitch. Yeah.
Not you, but I mean, like, me. You were probably
Ah.
thinking, you stupid bitch. Look what I told you. And I want to say something. When you're, like, going through the lessons, the reason why it feels so painful is because you're actually peeling off, you're killing layers of yourself, and it feels like your ego wants to gravitate to that control. Like, you know, I'm going to use an example of, like, you know, when you start up-leveling, actually it's a really common in this community when you have your spiritual awakening. The universe shines very bright on your relationships. You've had it, I've had it, heaps of people have experienced it, right? And what doesn't serve you, like, the universe will push that out. And because you're aware, it still feels layers, but what's happening is you're just peeling back the versions of you that the universe doesn't want to carry. But, like, your ego's so latched onto that. I'm repeating myself. But, yeah, so many people in this space have had to, like, get rid of relationships that don't serve them, and that's so uncomfortable. They're horrible things to go through, but it's about trusting that the universe is getting them out of your life to welcome new people in, or to, like, to complement this new version of you, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Absolutely.
I don't know why I just felt like using, like, a prime example of, like, the bigger picture.
Well, it's something that's been so prevalent in your life, right? Being able to, like, let go of people that don't serve you, or just, like, you know, there needs to be an equal exchange in relationships as well. You need to be getting as much as you're putting in, so it's really important. But what was your experience with the solar eclipse? So mine was like this new version of me being birthed through,
and
which
opportunities
is amazing.
come through.
Yeah.
For me, mine was ultimately the lesson of surrender. And I don't want to hold back here, because I know, like, our experiences is what's going to help people go, okay, I'm going through the similar things. I feel like we were just maybe talking a little bit, like, and not, no, we were providing examples, but I want to be so real. So for me, I'm going to be so honest to the point that I have dealt with anxiety. Oh, well, we've all dealt with anxiety. But particularly two of my biggest triggers have been around, I've suffered from health anxiety, and I've suffered from, you know, I wasn't even going to post that at one point with my personal podcast because I was too scared to trigger people.
Really?
Remember? Like, talk about it, remember?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, and the fact that I'm just like, I don't,
yeah,
it's my truth. This is my truth. And I suffered from health anxiety, and I have a lot of wounds around money, in the sense, like, I've always been fearful, like, what if money runs out, or I lose my job, or whatever. So these fears that I have don't serve me, right? And the universe has, like, throughout the week, they were triggering me with certain things. Like, even at one point, like, when it came to money, it was like, you know, what if another virus hits? Like, what if there's an opportunity that, like, you know, I'm not going to be supported in that way, right? And I was just, like, trying to alchemize it through, you know, like, emotional alchemy and facing those fears. So it's something I do personally when I have fears or whatever. I face it head on. I get comfortable with whatever the outcome is, knowing it's in for my highest good. But what I realized as I was alchemizing it, I felt like the universe was sending me a bigger picture. It was about the health anxiety, getting comfortable, and it was about being uncomfortable that even if the money did run out, or even if you lost your job, or whatever it is, you'll be supported. I knew that was the message, but I was just like, something's not right, something's off. So I sat with myself, and in despair, because the anxiety was so prevalent in my gut, right? We all, like, and I don't want to shy away from us experiencing that. Like, this work isn't about saying you'll never have anxiety, or you'll never experience scarcity. Absolutely, or, like, fear, because it's only part of being a human. But I was like, okay, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I want to, like, see what the bigger picture was. So then I asked for
some chronic anxiety.
This isn't like a, babe, like, you can fully see it in my energy. Like, when
every single time she comes over, I'm like, babe, you've got it in your energy.
Yeah. And it takes time to get rid of it, but like...
Oh, wait, sorry, just to give clarity, guys, I can see negative energy on people. It's a new thing I've developed.
Bad. And apparently I can see data, like, predict the future.
She can predict the future. She keeps saying, like, we've had this before.
Yeah, we've had this conversation. Yeah. I don't know, maybe that's my overthinking mind. Just preempting conversations that haven't happened and manifesting it.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'll have to explore that one.
Yeah.
I'll have to explore that one. But I'm going to take a deep breath in. Slow down.
Good for Nadia to be present. This is a lesson of hers as well. Look,
this is another lesson, like talking too quickly, right? Like overpowering my thoughts, like moving too fast. But, so I asked the universe to show me a sign. Like, I was just like, I don't want this to take over me anymore. And I swear to goodness, God, I swear to God, goodness. I opened my social media and all it was one post in bold words, surrender. And so what I realized is I had consciously adopted this principle and I was like, yeah, like the universe is always happening in our favor. But then at that point, I'm like, you haven't actually embodied this. You don't truly believe that the universe, like I do believe it, but like really, like is all they are asking from me is to trust that they have my highest good. And then I just got this vision of like, something bad going wrong, and then they just showed me like a rainbow with the like the end result, like it was like a gold pot, and what they were just trying to show me was when there's a storm, there's always a rainbow at the end. There's always a lesson to learn. There's always like, and I don't want to just consciously know this. I want to embody it. And I noticed all week, like practicing embodying it and trusting it, like the things that were coming up, I'm like, well, if that's what it is, the universe loves me. The universe fucking wants to be there for me. It wants to support me. My soul has come here to have this experience. I am safe no matter the outcome.
That's what I loved. You said this before earlier, and I was like, this is powerful coming from somebody, because I've watched you like go to the depths of your health anxiety and like I've seen what it's done to you, and I'm watching you crawl out of the pits of that and really like embody the other side. But something that you said, which was like really, really powerful, was even if it was an illness, even if I did get sick, even if the worst thing that I was afraid of happening happened, it was still for my highest and greatest good. It was still for me.
Yeah, and you know, I want to just like express that when you do suffer from, I want to talk into the microphone because I'm just like getting passionate now. When you do have episodes of anxiety, there's only one thing that's really going on, and that is your tendency to control. And what happens when you control? It means you don't actually trust. You think you know best, like back to the universe knows better. You think you know best of what's going on right now. You can't see the bigger picture. You have a mind. You have a conscious and a subconscious mind that's going to limit you. So it's practice, but the only way to overcome the anxiety, only way to overcome your fears is one, facing them head on and neutralizing it and going, it's okay no matter the outcome, right? Rather than suppressing it like I did for years. And like I'm still learning this lesson, don't get me wrong, actually facing it head on. But the other one is just really embodying that life is not as awful as we sometimes have made it out to be. Life is actually really beautiful. And the universe...
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, go on.
No, so I was just interrupted you. No, I was just like, sometimes your darkest moments are your greatest gifts.
And I just looked back at my life and like I was just like, okay, I'm just going to sit here with this feeling, because it was like powering through my body. The energy was there. I just looked back and like every dark moment I've had, 1 year ago, I never thought I would even be comfortable going a day without thinking about my health. And look where I'm at now. I'm starting a podcast. I'm starting my business. Yes, there's elements that I'm still work through, but like at one point I just felt like the things I was experiencing were the worst things. Like even you, like bullying in school, you feel like it's the worst thing that's happening to you until the universe is just preparing you for the greater good. It's preparing you for the biggest lesson. So that's been my particular lesson with the universe. And now it's really, I'm focusing on truly embodying it. Like this morning I went on a live and I was so nervous because like I'm stepping into this teacher role. Like we're both starting our careers, right? And it was just like, the universe does support me. Even if I stuff up, and like sometimes in the moment, like I was being a little bit of a sook about it, but the universe is just like preparing you for better good. And I'm repeating myself here, but I truly embodying it to my core. That's why, because I'm like so passionate about it, because I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like even if you're going through hardship, you're having to up level and get people out of your life, you're letting go of things that don't serve you and it's uncomfortable. It's preparing you for what you're calling in. Like I'm calling in you know, a coaching business. I'm calling in all these beautiful things, and like, of course I'm going to have to do the uncomfortable thing. Of course I'm going to be faced with things that, like, that's not going to serve me if as I step up and evolve into this new version of myself.
I've definitely been, I resonate with what you're going through. It's definitely been a big part of my experience as well with this eclipse. And just like, I've been having like lesson after lesson being thrown at me, and it's like, it's not easy. It's not as easy as we're saying, guys. We're not just like, just do it, right? Well, really it is just do it. But you know, it takes a lot of self-awareness. It takes a lot of patience with yourself. It takes a lot of care, and it takes you actually wanting to do the work. Like, there have been days this week that I've just completely dedicated to my like emotional healing and like reprogramming my nervous system, because the feeling is just so strong and I'm feeling so uncomfortable. But in those moments, I know, okay, Shirley, well, if you want to embody this new way of being, you need to be this version of you. You need to step out as this, you know, you need to be with yourself, and you need to give yourself the time and the care. But this is like, for me particularly, this is years of me learning spiritual content, integrating little bits, and then now I feel like this year is just full on embodiment, right? Be the shit that you say, actually live this life. But what I want to say is, and something I realized with myself, is I put so much pressure on myself the last 2 years of having my spiritual awakening. I just wanted the change to happen now, but I wasn't taking into account that I had, what, 23 years of programming shoved down. Like, that's all I had. That's all I knew. Like, that shit takes time. So, like, if you're new on this journey and you're just like, I want to know everything, I want to do everything, like, take one step back and just focus on what's being presented to you right now. Like, what, you know, don't try to do everything all at once, and don't get down on yourself if you're like, I don't have that self-awareness, or I'm not like that in my life, because it's like, I wasn't either, you know what I mean? It's like, this has taken time, this has taken dedication, this has taken me showing up, literally, guys, every fucking day, showing up for myself, consuming this content, learning, reprogramming. And now that's why I feel like as this year has hit, I feel the integration in my nervous system. I am no longer saying the things anymore. I am believing them.
Yeah, like, this is the thing, like, you know, we learn about the law of attraction, you know, the manifestation stuff, your reality is created from your belief system. But it's actually like taking it to the next level and embodying it. And I think that's what the universe has presented us both in very different ways of embodiment, trusting, actually believing it to your core, because you can consciously think these things, but you're not going to make drastic changes if you're making decisions and you're not looking at your lessons as opportunities to learn. And I don't know about you, I just want to make this super clear. Sorry, I just want to make this super clear. We're not taking away the feelings that people go through and the hardship that people go through.
I was going to mention that as well.
Yeah, we're not taking away, we're not saying that when the universe shoves it in your face, and like when, you know, people go through some
pretty fucked up
shit.
Yeah,
let's be real, because we're souls having a human experience. Our soul wants to feel the feelings, it wants to expand. We're not taking away that. You have to feel it, and it's not that it's in that very moment that
you're going to make
the shift, right? You have to feel, if you're feeling like, you know, something at work's happened, or you've lost your job, or something crazy like that's life-changing has happened, you have to feel the fucking feeling. You have to actually do the emotional alchemy. If you're angry, do the ritual, scream into the pillow, do it. But it's your ability to get back to your center when you're ready, get back to your center and go, I'm supported, I'm trusted, this is hard, this is difficult what I'm going through. Face the shadow side, face the part of you that's like resisting that what's happening to you, and then just trusting from the highest good that everything is going to be okay no matter the outcome.
Yeah, I think that's such an important piece. So this isn't being negligent to people that go through dark experiences. You know, I've gone through my own fair share, so have you. And, you know, life is polarity. We experience the good and the bad, right? We experience hard things and we experience amazing things, and it's just the both, like having both. And I've, you know, you and I have asked this question many times, and we've gone to our own guidance system. We're just like, you know, why do some people go through such difficulty being here? Why does that happen to some people? And it all comes down to our individual experiences. Whatever we came here to do, whatever we came here to transmute, whatever we came here to experience, that is different from person to person. But yeah, like I like that you mentioned that it's not about, you know, having this response in the moment. I mean, with the situations that we are talking about, they've been very like
They're
subtle,
not, yeah,
strict triggers,
not,
right?
Yeah,
it's not. We haven't gone through anything like
to the point where
we would need to take time and like just sometimes like when something really, really dark happens to me and I'm like, this is really difficult, I'll actually allow myself to numb. I will numb. I will literally be like, okay, like I'm really struggling dealing with this. I can't.
Yeah, it's not right.
So
the universe doesn't want you to do that. It just wants you to feel the feelings.
Well, sometimes I numb in those moments because it's too much, and then I have the self-awareness now. Like once you open yourself up to this world, you can't see anything differently.
You can't see anything differently. You're like, you
can't numb anymore, right? So it's like once I react however I need to react, and I'm like, okay, how am I going to deal with this situation? How am I going to go forward? How can I start feeling? How can I open up my heart? And then you can do this with situations that have happened in your life as well. Like we sometimes do anger rituals or emotional alchemy practices for things that, we didn't process when we were growing up as well. And that's like, you need to move that energy as well, because that becomes stagnated in your body. So such a big topic. I'm like, I feel like I'm trying to say everything about it.
No, it's true. And like when we talk about like feeling the feelings, like the universe will put you in circumstances or like things will happen in your life, right? But if you don't feel, it's called spiritual bypassing. You're bypassing the actual thing. And then you if we believe in the law of correspondence, what happened, if you don't deal with that thing, it becomes like a subconscious programming, and then that thing will keep coming up in your reality. So this is why people also experience the same shit happening over and over again, because they haven't actually made the active change to go deep and go, what's this? This doesn't feel good. This doesn't serve me. I'm in a relationship that's toxic. Like, why do I keep attracting the same sort of people? And it's like, it's not, this is why bypassing the work is so, you can't bypass this work. You have to feel.
And I feel like that's what's made the difference this week with how we've experienced the lessons. Like another thing that we really wanted to talk about was how gentle the universe has been with us this year. Like, that's really nice.
Yeah, thank you.
It's not like a fucking tower moment. And I think really like the difference is we are receiving the lessons that's coming with this eclipse season. We're having our triggers take place. We're being triggered. We're like, oh my God, shit. We're having our little, like, oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? But we're taking a moment before we respond. And we're like, how can I respond in, like, from my higher self? How can I respond in a way that's in accordance to this new version that I'm calling in? And that's really what we've done. So we've really, like, taken all of the opportunities that have come our way, and we keep we keep correcting ourselves, changing the way that we're doing it. We're understanding the lesson and then integrating the lesson. And it's been very different compared to like in the past where it's just one big like tower moment, right? So it's just so powerful to start gaining this like self-awareness with yourself. Take responsibility for when you are triggered. Now, really, really integrate this, right? You have sovereignty over your own life. You have the ability to change your experience here. So if something is happening online or with a person in your life or whatever it is, and it's triggering you, it's reflecting something within you, whether it's reflecting something that you want or something that you don't like that exists within yourself, right? So it could be, take self-awareness and then be like, okay, like how can I respond to this in a way that's actually serving my highest good? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does make sense. And the whole reason why, a lot of people in this space will say, pay attention to your triggers, is because that's directly what the universe is asking you to shift. So if something bothers you or you're angry about that or you're jealous of something, the universe, if you're jealous, it's definitely presenting it in front of you. But if something makes you angry, the universe is just showing you like, why are you angry? What about in this situation does the shift need to happen?
Maybe like an example would be best. So, for example, I was watching a YouTuber that I love. Her name is Skylife, and she was doing this video where she like had this. She lived with these spiritual people, and they created like this Zen den for themselves, and it was really, really cool. I love watching her and her spiritual videos, but essentially, like, she starts showing like the community aspect of their life and how they were all so free to express in the way that they wanted to express. And I was triggered, like, in that moment. I was like, oh, like, you know, something in me was like just feeling like triggered about it as I was watching it.
What was the feeling? Like annoyed, or like that's weird? Like what was coming up?
That's weird. Like I was like judging it.
So trigger doesn't
like,
have to mean like you want to punch someone, or like it could be literally something as judging someone, or feeling like feeling icky about something.
Yeah, I was judging. I was like, that's weird. Like, you know. And then I took a moment. I was like, hold on, where is this judgy McJudgy coming from? So then I took a moment with myself. I took a deep breath. I literally put the video on pause, and I was like, what is this showing within me? You know, what does this? Why did I just have an emotional response to this? So I realized that it was something I wanted. I wanted to feel that free and express in front of other people, right?
And the community aspect as well.
I wanted the community aspect, but yeah, I just wanted to also be free to be me and like express in the way that I wanted to. And it was really powerful to have that realization. It was like, okay, so then that means that there are still parts in my life where I'm hiding. How can I change that, right? How can I transmute that?
Yeah, no, I think that's so powerful. And how many times you even spoke about another YouTuber, like when you were going through your darkest times. I'm going to talk about this as well. Like when, Shule, you started your spiritual awakening, I think we've mentioned this before. I was going through my dark night of the soul. There would have been things that I obviously can't remember now, but that Shule was doing that would have triggered me in a way, because I'm feeling so low, and it's like, why are you so happy? When you know the world's ending, like particularly if I had health, I was like, dude, I'm dying right now, like something, like I'm proper dying, and you're just like, meditate. I'm like, bro.
She actually said to me once, she's like, meditation doesn't work for me.
Yeah, well, we've all been there right now. Now I'm a coach that preaches it. But yeah, so it's just like one of those things where it comes in so subtly, and the more you practice self-awareness, the more you connect with your intuition, the more you slow that voice down, the more you see. But like,
and presence is key. Like there is so much that the universe is trying to show you throughout your day, and you're going to miss the lessons. Like some of the most subtle signs I've seen, and I'm just like, oh my God, the universe is reflecting something that's coming my way with this. You know what I mean? Like it's just, the universe is constantly talking to you, constantly reassuring you as well, and it's there, it's supporting you. Like that's honestly what I experience. I'm like, when I'm just listening, when I'm just like, you know, as soon as you ask for a sign, like the signs come in, like the universe is there. It's like, I'm here for you, babe. Like,
like let me sort it out. I was coming in the car to Shoelace today. I was having some pretty stupid thoughts, right? That were just not being hard on myself, but I have an ego. It came in, I was just like feeling a bit crappy. And then, what did I see? 555 on a car, and what that represents is
change.
No, doesn't it? Change your thoughts, change your emotions,
yeah.
Fix yourself, get yourself out of your little rut. And it's like easy now to like realize those signs, but at the start I wasn't seeing them. It just takes time. Like everything takes time. I feel like so many people put pressure on themselves to like hurry up and speed up this journey. If you're so new to this world, take a step back and go, okay, like, let me start with one thing. Let me start with seeing an owl, seeing a feather, whatever it is, right?
I actually don't have like one particular sign.
That's good.
It's
No,
like
now I don't.
Yeah. I think it's nice that some people do. Like, I had a mentor, Erin Henry. Her sign was like a ukulele. So random, right? But like that was her sign. So I'm just like, it's nice to have a sign, and I like keep wanting a sign, but like my sign is just. Actually, no, my sign is AAA and the spiral.
Yeah, I was like, don't you have one? Yeah. Mine's an owl.
Yeah.
It's actually a beautiful story, the owl.
The owl is so
yours
nice.
Is so, as like, all the stories are beautiful, all of it.
Tell
like,
your owl story. That's such a nice story.
Ours, right?
Yeah, because it's actually really powerful to ask for a sign. If you're struggling to trust the universe and you just need reassurance, then you can ask for that reassurance, you know?
So how it started was, my beautiful nonna had passed away, and after a few months, I was already like starting to investigate this world because of Shule before she had passed away. But then after a few months, I was like going through things, and I made a decision that I was going to go down to social media or whatever. That's what it was. And I wasn't really trusting the universe. I still was like, oh yeah, it doesn't really exist, right? So I asked out loud to the universe and said, Nonna, if this world exists, because I'm Italian and Spanish, but if this world exists, show me an owl. How the hell were they going to show me an owl, right? I just chose the hardest thing. So then if that sign didn't come in, that's it. I just didn't believe it. I'm like, law of attraction doesn't exist. Universe doesn't exist. This is just some fucking fucked up joke that we're just on this planet. Don't know why we exist. And the key is to let go. Like, don't think about it, right? It's a whole other topic of surrender and when and the how, whatever. But I knew that I had to let go of it. So I genuinely did. I was like, I don't care anymore because I had no attachment to if it didn't exist or whatever. I wasn't holding on to the universe existing. The next day, my partner calls me and goes, babe, look, there's an owl on our fucking porch.
He doesn't know that you asked for the owl.
No. And I just started crying. And he's like, chill out. And he goes, it's probably just coincidence, babe, because logic, right? Yeah. And I started crying and I was like, you cannot make this stuff up. And some people go, that's just coincidence. You thought about it, so it came into your awareness. However, that is the case and the universe is communicating through this. But there's universal laws. This shit is real. Energy is real. So I don't care. Like, I'm so far past, like, people just trying to put logic to it. So at that point, just got really passionate. I was like, it's not logic. That's not logic. And, you know, I'm doing a lot of research around the universal laws right now. So I'm like, I just want to protrude that out.
Oh, no. It's just so funny that people, like, go, oh, but it's not scientifically proven. Do you know how much isn't scientifically proven? If you were just waiting for science to fucking figure it out for you, you're not going to get anywhere.
You know what? You were one of those people. So
I was absolutely one of those people.
So let's not.
I was the worst of the worst. Yeah. I was the worst.
You were the worst, man.
I was just shit. I was so funny.
You're just like, you actually got angry about it.
No, I was really passionate. I used to reprimand religion.
You did. You're like, media. I remember in high school, you were like, what, do you think there's a man in the sky? Like,
yeah, I was like, you fucking idiots.
Now she's just like, aliens talking to her in the bedroom.
No, this is hilarious. Bad. No, so this is hilarious. I literally put up a meme, like a meme of like a Spider-Man comic that said proof that Spider-Man exists, and then the Bible and said proof that that God exists. That was me. That's me.
Wow.
I know, that was me. I was really, guys, when I say I was an atheist activist, she witnessed this firsthand.
Honestly. It's true, we did. That's what I just wanted to pull out there.
But you were talking about the owl.
Yeah, so the owl was there.
But it triggered that, like, emotional response. It triggered that,
like, oh my God, Nana's out here.
And it was like, but not only that, it's like, this is real. Like, I get to live my life with this, right? It's like, whoa, like, we aren't here in vain.
We're not here in vain.
I know that feeling you're describing. I had it when I asked for my sign, which was my 4-leaf clover.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that you were talking about Anthony's response. Anthony's her partner. Daniel, my partner, was also doing the same. He's like, can you sort it out? Wow. And I was just like, you have no idea what this means.
They still don't.
Me. No, I was like, you have no idea. I feel like they're catching on. Mine isn't. I was like, mine isn't, yours is. Mine is so annoying. He's like, sometimes he'll be like,
think he's coming around.
He's coming around. I was like, babe, you did yoga with me this morning. I didn't even ask him. And then other times he's like, shitting on it.
Yeah.
Shitting on it.
I just feel like Anthony is just like, he just wants to support me so badly and he's quite gullible.
Anthony is so beautiful, like, in that sense. Like, he actually, like, he makes an effort with this world, whereas mine just doesn't talk.
I feel like Anthony, maybe he looks up to what I have to say.
He does. Yeah. I would love.
He's gullible, babe. You could tell him anything and he'll believe it.
Oh my God, this is a really funny story.
Sorry, Anthony. He listens.
Does he?
He's listened to every episode.
Oh my God, dude, Daniel hasn't listened to one of my episodes.
That's okay. We've got different seeds we're planted with. Don't worry.
That's one of my lessons, not putting expectation on him. I'm just like, he's him in his own way. Yeah. But no, we're just kidding. These are all jokes, but. I said, like, Anthony is hilarious. Anthony, if you're listening to this, hi, have to tell this story. When we were kids, she stole my boyfriend. Yeah. No. So we dated.
And there's this running joke that I dated Daniel, which didn't happen. I don't know where that came from.
I don't know. I just do it to piss you guys off.
Seriously.
I don't know.
They do love each other.
Yeah. So her and her boyfriend and me dated in high school for like 2 weeks. It was like a little kiddie relationship. But essentially, he ended up coming over my house one day. He's so gullible, guys, that I told him this full elaborate story about the place that I lived being built on a burial ground.
Was it haunted or something?
Yeah, that it was haunted because it was built on a burial ground, and like I just came up with this full elaborate thing, right? Just because why not? It's funny. And then I started to like move around his shoes in the house, or like I'll do like weird things. And then it was really windy that day, so the wind was like moving certain things and making things. Like it was all perfect in the way that it just planned out. The universe was supporting this like little prank that I was playing. But he was genuinely like terrified, but I didn't realize. So he was actually really, really scared of what was happening in that moment.
No, he's just gullible.
He's just so gullible. He's listening. No, so he's it was really, really funny. So he ended up taking that with him through his entire life. It's a story he ended up telling many people of his
including me, and I was like, this bitch, for someone who didn't believe in spirituality, she's full thinking this ghost, but little did I know it was also a joke.
It was a joke, and it was really funny, and I thought that he knew that it was a joke eventually, like when he grew up, and then it came out this year that like I mentioned it, and he was like, wait, what?
He threw out his shoes.
He threw out his
shoes. Probably because he was going on a date.
He would have
had
his
a new
like
girlfriend,
best shoes.
and he bought shoes, and she fucking made him throw them out.
Oh, I feel so bad, but
well,
like,
that's his problem for being gullible too.
Come on, mate. I can't believe he like carried that with him for the rest. I should have mentioned it, but that's how gullible he is, guys. He's really funny.
Well, things are going to be a lie. How many times, what's the word? News. The news. National events, weather, and sport. I found out like 7 years ago. Now it feels like yesterday, but that's what news stands for. National events, weather, and sport.
What?
News, like the word news.
I know, but like that's so random.
Yeah, but like saying what I'm trying to say.
I was like,
no, I had a point. Wait, why are we talking about that? What I'm saying is shit's gonna happen in life. You're gonna go, oh my god, I had no idea that happened. Like,
Yeah, that was a stretch. No,
but do you get what I'm saying? Like, shit happens. Why did you have to tell him? Let him figure it out on his own.
True.
Life is full of surprises. It's boring otherwise.
No, he was cut. He was like, I'm actually pretty, like, cut at you right now.
I'm just still obviously relating to this gobsmack thing that happened to me, that I felt like my life was a lie, just like Anthony
Just
has.
because of the news?
Yeah.
You didn't know what it stood for?
Did you know I stood for that?
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, I told you.
She told everyone.
Where'd you gobsmack?
Not really. But I hate the news. I'm like,
No, now I do.
Yeah.
Now I hate the news.
Yeah.
It's all negative.
No, we don't hate anything. We're neutral.
No, we're not. It's not
Jokes.
that. Like, it's just that you have to pay attention to these things, but we're obviously very aware of the subconscious mind and what we consume as well.
Lots of programming. The news is very like fear oriented. Now we're just talking shit.
Yeah.
We're talking shit. Get here.
Should we leave the episode here?
I think we should. I feel like we've gotten what we need to get across. Thank you for being here. As always, we love you guys, and we cannot wait to
go on to the next episode.
Absolutes. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck with your eclipse season.
Yes. DM us your stories.
Yeah, I love these stories.
Yes.
Done.
See ya.
Bye.
If you loved today's episode, please do not forget to rate and review in iTunes or Spotify.
If you would love to connect with us on a more intimate platform, you can find us both on Instagram at Shule Ozek and at Nadia Gali. We would love to connect with you.
Thanks for listening.